Guys, thanks for joining, and thank you, Ricky, in the control room, and thank you, Daryl, in this room. Thank you, everyone across the world. So I just wanted to come live here and talk to you guys about San Diego Comic-Con, all the big announcements, movies and TV shows. There's just so much that was announced in the last week. So I'm just going to rip through it. So Ricky, let's start the show. First and foremost, we've got a sneak peek of Justice League. We got a trailer, which nobody expected. And it shows Ezra Miller as the Flash in action. It shows Cyborg. It shows Aquaman getting feisty with Batman. The one thing that's absent, Superman. Because, spoiler alert, if you saw Batman v Superman, you know that he's dead.
But say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Well, it ain't so because it's comic books.
Hey guys, I'm Ricky, by the way.
This is Ricky.
I'm behind the controls with Luke, just chiming in a little bit.
He is the mix master, and he's got the monster claw.
The monster claw.
If you're on Periscope, you can't see the monster claw. So anyway, so Justice League is really, I think, the biggest news coming out of Comic-Con. Yes, Sharon, LA on Periscope. What? Dead? Yes. Superman. We've heard it all before. He'll be back. I assure you he'll be back. So anyway, we're going full steam ahead into Justice League. And as part of that, let's go on to the next one. The other big trailer that hit was Wonder Woman. So her standalone movie is coming in June 2017. And that will be the next big standalone DC Comics movie. And if you have not seen this trailer, be sure to search for it. It's on our Facebook page. It is facebook.com/ESNTLTV for Essential TV. And we shared both the Justice League and the Wonder Woman trailers. And I have to say, I was very impressed by this. I've never been a huge Wonder Woman fan, but whenever she really stole the show in Batman v Superman, I became intrigued. And the trailer for Wonder Woman looks outstanding. So I would have to say that after Suicide Squad, this is maybe what I'm most excited about in the DC Comics universe. And The White Way says Chris Pine looks good, but he would be a great Hal Jordan. I agree. I think that maybe that's an opportunity lost, but we have to wait until at least 2020 for Green Lantern because we have to scrub the memory of the Ryan Reynolds movie. No offense, Ryan Reynolds, you know what you did to us. You know what you did. And you made up for it with Deadpool. So let's go to the next one. Oh, and another big announcement. So Ben Affleck, who is referred to lovingly as Batfleck, he has been announced is officially, we knew this was probably coming, but officially the director of the upcoming Batman solo movie. And it was previously announced by Mr. Affleck that it would not be moving ahead until he was happy with the story. So that is a good sign, I think. And Green 110, you're Batman. Well, you, Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, Adam West, Kevin Conroy, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, and someday David Mazouz. So there's a lot of Batmen. But I'm very excited about that because, as we all know, Ben Affleck is a competent director, and he would be much better if he would direct movies he didn't star in.
Reindeer games.
Reindeer games. All right, so let's go to the next one. So this is the soonest DC movie that you can look forward to. Coming up August 5th. It is just around the corner. And we've seen a lot for this movie. So there's not really any new news so much, but we did get to see some teasers dedicated to Harley Quinn and Deadshot. We've actually gotten to see more of Deadshot, Will Smith's Deadshot, than we had seen previously. And I have to say I was a little concerned about how they would play this, and it's looking so far so good. So let's go to the next one. Oh, so another big R-rated movie going along with the suicide theme, The Killing Joke, has just been released in theaters for 2 nights only. It was originally 1 night, last night. And the next viewing of it is tonight, and that's it until it comes out on Blu-ray August 2nd. What are my thoughts on Killing Joke? I saw it last night. The buzz coming out of Comic-Con was that the viewers that saw it at a screening there were very let down by it. And I had been looking forward to this greatly. I was very excited when they announced they were doing an R-rated Killing Joke. and even more excited because Kevin Conroy from the Batman animated series was reprising his role as Batman, and Mark Hamill was reprising the role of the Joker. So it would be an R-rated Batman the Animated Series movie, essentially. And all of the negativity that came out of that screening, I have to say, I concur. It was a little weird. It's the Killing Joke. If you read the comics, it's a very short comic. And so to make it a feature-length animated film, they had to add a whole first half to it that feels a little out of place, and a lot of viewers were unsettled by. And not unsettled in the way that The Killing Joke should unsettle you, but unsettled by, like, it really felt unnatural. So the White Way says you liked it. I did not particularly enjoy this. And the relationship between Batgirl and Batman is really like the crux of the controversy. Ricky, did you watch the Batman animated series?
I did not, sorry.
Oh, I was going to ask you if you would think it was weird that Batgirl and Batman got it on.
No, that's cool with me.
I mean, but if you grew up on the Batman animated series and you're used to Batman being the fatherly figure and Batgirl being more like a daughter than a love interest, that's the source of the weirdness, people. So I have to say I echo that sentiment, but it's not just that, it's just it didn't feel like a good movie. I'm sorry. But anyway, I was really looking forward to it. I'm not a hater. I really wanted to enjoy this. I was excited for it, and let me down. So anyway, let's go to the next one. Oh, this was just announced today. And Matt Ryan, who played John Constantine in the short-lived NBC series Constantine, and also guest starred as Constantine on Arrow, will be reprising the role for Justice League Dark. Unfortunately, it's an animated movie and not the live-action feature-length film we were hoping for, but it is an animated feature-length film, and it is Matt Ryan as Constantine, so that'll be good. And hopefully it is a sign of things to come. I don't know if we'll ever see that Guillermo del Toro Justice League Dark movie. I doubt it, but Matt Ryan in the trench coat, even if it's drawn on. Can't complain with that. So let's hop to the next one. Oh, more Batman news. The Lego Batman movie is coming out February 2017, and the trailer looks outstanding, and it looks funny. Will Arnett as Batman. And it is giving us some variety. We've got the R-rated Batman, and then we've got the Lego Batman. We've got all kinds of Batman. Batman for everyone. So
Batman forever.
Batman forever. George Clooney. Wait, that was that the Val Kilmer? That was Val Kilmer.
I can't even keep up with it. There's been so many movies. I don't even know what to do.
I can't watch Supergirl Arrow. My channel CW has been blacked out. Well, you will have to get that fixed very soon, Arlene, because the premieres are coming up on us fast. We will get to that. So let's go to the next one. Oh, does this remind anyone else of Sega Genesis? I mean, I expect the Hulk head to just bash through this and say Sega.
Sega.
So Thor Ragnarok is coming out November 2017. And the logo is really what everyone is talking about. The White Way says he's trolling the audience. And Skoxt, thank you for joining us again. Skoxt says Nintendo 64. This is not the logo. It's a great logo if you are into that kind of thing. Daryl, I'm looking at you. Daryl is a hardcore Thor fan. He's hanging out here, and he is. I knew he would be upset when I saw this. I'm like Daryl would be spinning in his grave, except he's healthy and alive. It doesn't fit for sure. Old prototype logo is awesome. So the other news is that we got to see a glimpse of the Hulk's battle armor, his gladiatorial armor for this movie. It's going to be a buddy movie across the galaxy. It's going to be it's going to be Abbott and Costello with Thor and the Hulk. And our friend Daryl here is already hating it. Yeah. Already hating it. I can't wait.
They should have casted Triple H as the Thor.
Triple H as Thor.
Yes. They should have did that.
So the White Way says, do Planet Hulk already. Here's the thing. Marvel can't do a standalone Hulk movie without writing a big check. Because if you remember, they gave the rights to Hulk away to, who was it, Universal? They gave away the rights to Universal for Ang Lee's Hulk movie with Eric Bana and Nick Nolte, where the Hulk fights a radioactive poodle. Not exaggerating. And if you don't believe me, do yourself a favor and just don't watch it. Don't go prove me wrong. He fights a radioactive poodle. It was a terrible movie, but the thing is, Universal still has a deal. So if there's a standalone Hulk movie, Marvel needs to write a big check to Universal. And so that's why this movie, this Thor movie, is like a backdoor Hulk standalone movie, because they can't do a standalone movie. This is going to be our Planet Hulk, for better or worse. And I can't imagine we're going to get a World War Hulk unless this movie is the greatest thing that ever happened and Marvel realizes there's a lot of money to be made and enough to go around. So get used to it, Daryl. He's a huge Thor fan.
Bring my hammer in.
The hammer?
I have a hammer.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, Doctor Strange. This is also coming up very soon, November. And if you did not see this trailer, everyone is comparing it to Inception, where you see like Manhattan and the city like folds in on itself. Skox says this looks dope. That's the general sentiment. I'm excited for this. I've been excited for Doctor Strange for a while because I think it's a breath of fresh air. We're bringing the magic into Marvel, and we'll see where it goes. It opens up a whole new world of opportunities and possibilities, kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy opened up the universe to Marvel. This will open up the realm of magic. So very excited about it. And by the way, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him, just about Khan. Lots of bad things about Khan. Yes, and I'll get to Blair Witch. Let's go to the next one. And we have our Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, who you might know from Room. She is an Academy Award winner, and she will be Captain Marvel. So all of you folks that were all about Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica playing this role, you got an Academy Award winner. You can't really complain about that, can you? So let's go to the next one. Oh, okay. So this is Ego the Living Planet. And Ego the Living Planet is a Marvel character who only I think the most hardcore fans really know, just like only the most hardcore fans knew Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie. And so he first appeared in Thor? Daryl knows everything about Thor. Yes, so it was announced, spoiler alert, it's going to be everywhere. It's already been everywhere, so it's not really a spoiler at this point because we already have been spoiled. But this is Star-Lord's father from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Ego the Living Planet, and he is played by Ricky.
I'm a little hung up here.
Ricky.
I'm hung up.
Hung up?
Yeah, this thing like froze up.
It froze up. That was my big.
This is what happens
That was
when
my
you go
big
live.
transition. Yes. So the White Way says she screwed a planet. Star-Lord's mother. Not exactly. I think it's kind of like Greek mythology, where it's like Zeus would appear as a person or like a horse or something that's still pretty weird. So Ego the Living Planet probably will become Ricky. You're still frozen? You're still frozen. So I have to spend the rest of this show talking about Ego the Living Planet.
What's cool in the books is that Ego, or they actually used to say Ego.
Ego?
Yeah, like in
Like Lego, my
Yeah,
ego?
But he's an elder, kind of like the collector and the gamesman.
Okay, so if you can't hear this, Daryl's saying that there's much more to Ego the Living Planet than a goofy face on a planet. And are we still stuck, Ricky?
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it. It's just not responding to anything that I do.
All
We're
right.
lucky we're streaming still.
All right, well, with that in mind, does he have a penis? Dead God Eater asks. He must. Soul Gem will turn up in this movie.
And it's volcanic.
And it's volcanic? Is that actually canon from that's not canon? That should be canon.
It erupts.
That would be quite a
It erupts.
turn of events. So I'm just bringing up my presentation so I can see what was next
Someone
without
pulled
the
out
visual.
and said it's Kurt Russell.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm sorry. That was my big reveal. I was trying to go like this and signal that it's Kurt Russell, aka Snake Plissken, right? So that is the big news, that Kurt Russell will be playing Star-Lord's father, who happens to be Ego the Living Planet. And that's pretty cool. There's There's our tech team.
We're trying to get it figured out, folks.
I'm just going to keep jumping ahead. And the thing is, I'm very disappointed because I had a great picture of Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. And anytime I can work Snake Plissken or Kurt Russell in general into this, I'm very excited. So Kurt's face on a planet, my worst nightmare, the White Way says. So the next one that I wanted to mention is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So Eddie Redmayne will be playing in this Harry Potter universe movie coming out November 2016. And I have not read the books. I'm not a big book reader. And the thing is, I did not know much about this, but I was very excited to see that it takes place in like an old school, like I don't know what the time period is. It looks like 1910s, 1920s. Any of you Harry Potter fanatics, feel free to fact check me. New York City. So it's going to be magic in old school New York. And yes, the White Way says milking that Hollywood money. Warner Brothers lost, I mean, they went from this billion-dollar Harry Potter franchise to really scraping and scrounging and trying to come up with something new. And the DC Comics movies might represent that. The Lego movies they're doing now are also a moneymaker, but let's be honest, for about a decade, maybe more, how long were the Harry Potter movies in production? At least a decade. Basically, Harry Potter was Warner Brothers. Harry Potter was paying all the shareholders, all the executives, and so yes, they are milking it, but if it's good, I don't mind. So Eddie Redmayne and also Ezra Miller, who's playing as Barry Allen in The Flash, is in this movie, and I didn't know that until I saw the preview. So kind of excited. Yes, and I see the White Way, James Wan is their savior for Warner Brothers. I hope so, because Zack Snyder, mixed reviews. Okay, so the next one, it's funny, I'm going to be looking at Ego the Living Planet. I guess it's funny if I'm going to land on any of them, might as well be the funniest picture, right? So the next one I want to talk about was Kong Skull Island. So this is a new King Kong movie, and it is
the prequel to the King Kong versus Godzilla.
And it is set place in the 70s, I believe. And it is part of, speaking of shared universes, it is part of the shared universe with the new Godzilla movie. And so it is a prequel setting up the epic Godzilla versus King Kong, or King Kong versus Godzilla, whichever makes most money goes first, which it's the Rumble in the Jungle. I think it's going to be the Rumble in a city. And anyway, so if all three of you who are like, I can't wait to see new King Kong versus Godzilla in a cinematic universe, well, it's coming. But the good news is this actually looks like a good movie. So it's got a great cast. It's got Samuel L. Jackson, because he's in every single movie. And it's got Tom Hiddleston, a.k.a. Loki, who's great.
You can do Apes on an Island, right?
And Daryl says if Sam did Snakes on a Plane, you can do Apes on an Island. The White Way, Metal Gear Solid. I'm not sure. Snake. What's a different snake? Yes, so the Dead God Eater says, I didn't know this movie was in production. Cool, yes. Not only in production, it comes out March 2017. And it actually looks good. I might be excited about this movie. So another one to keep an eye out that's kind of out of left field is King Arthur, which is directed by Guy Ritchie of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch and all these great movies, but he has a very quirky style. And this stars Charlie Hunnam, who played Pacific Rim, speaking of giant monsters, and so and also from Sons of Anarchy. So it looks very interesting. We'll see. Can Guy Ritchie do a movie in his style that takes place around King Arthur? Watch the trailer and you decide. I'm not sure. So another surprise from Comic-Con was this movie, The Woods, which is a horror movie I'd not really heard much about, but it is scheduled for a September release, September of this year. And they revealed at Comic-Con that this is actually secretly a new Blair Witch movie, which is very surprising, right? When's the last time anyone brought up the Blair Witch Project? But The Woods is officially a new Blair Witch Project that takes place after the original Blair Witch Project, where it's one of the characters looking for his sister. And Dooley says, it looks awesome, mythology is on point. Do you have a YouTube channel? The answer is yes. Yes. So anyway, listen, there was already a sequel to the Blair Witch Project. It was called Book of Shadows. It was not following the format of the Blair Witch Project, the first-person camera thing. The White Way says it's a soft reboot. Pretty much, they're trying to get some more money out of this property, and I can't blame them. Once upon a time, the Blair Witch Project ruled the world for like 3 seconds. So the Book of Shadows sequel did not do well, and now we're getting a soft reboot. And it's been how long? This was like 1999 when the first one came out, right?
So the White Way wants to know like what you would think about a cyborg movie directed by Neil Blomkamp.
I'm not excited about Cyborg in the DC universe, really. But if Neil Blomkamp was directing it, I would suddenly become excited, to answer your question, The White Way. So another one that kind of snuck up on me, Legends of the Hidden Temple. So for those of you who grew up on Nickelodeon, if you remember the game show Legends of the Hidden Temple, where like the dumbest kids on earth could not assemble a monkey statue or remember things they heard 3 seconds before, that's going to be a movie. So it is a fictional movie. It is not a game show. It is not a feature-length game show, although give it time. Give it time, Hollywood. And Legends of the Hidden Temple. But it's coming out, I think, on Nickelodeon. It's not going to be a theatrical release. But I believe it's feature-length. And that is May 2016. And going along with the blast from the past, kids' properties, the Power Rangers will be coming out soonish. What is it? March 2017. And it is actually looking like a pretty mature take on the source material. So it doesn't look bad. And Bryan Cranston is playing Zordon. So the White Way asks, what do I think? So I'm going to tell you what Bryan Cranston said about this role. Bryan Cranston played Walter White, Heisenberg in Breaking Bad. He played LBJ and All the Way. It was on Broadway and then it was on HBO. This man is amazing. He is a world-class thespian, and he's playing Zordon in the Power Rangers movie. So what he said, when they came to him, they said, remember how there was the Adam West Batman series, and then they reinvented it with the Michael Keaton Batman movie? That's what we want to do with Power Rangers. And so that's what sold him. So expect this. It's Power Rangers, but it's not going to be the Power Rangers remember. And you can take Bryan Cranston's word for it. So Arlene, I'm not a Power Rangers expert. It was a little after my time, so I can't answer your question. Oh, yes. Oh, and was it The White Way? Did you just comment? Bryan Cranston actually has a history with Power Rangers because he did one of the voices of one of the monsters in the original series. And that is a great piece of trivia. Thank you very much, White Way. So Bryan Cranston coming back home. Power Rangers, where he belongs. Okay, so Star Trek, going into TV news. Star Trek Discovery is the new TV series. It is the name of the show. It is the name of the ship. We don't know what time period it takes place in, but it takes place in the Prime universe, as Star Trek fans know, of the original movies and the original TV shows, and not the J.J. Abrams universe. Arlene, I don't know about the new season of Power Rangers. You got the wrong guy for that one. I just don't know the Power Rangers TV show. Sorry. But I do know the movie looks good. Please do not ruin Trek, The White Way says. I agree. So far it looks good, but there's some controversy over the design of the ship because they are basically dusting off old drawings from the 1970s. Ralph McQuarrie, a well-known artist, did a lot of amazing things. For a failed Star Trek movie in the 70s, he drew these ship designs. And we haven't seen them since the 70s, except in obscure, like, what-if type blog articles. And so that is obviously what they based the ship on. So watch the teaser. I believe we shared it on our Facebook page. And I don't know. I mean, I'm going to wait and see what the story's like, but I think I agree the design looks a little weird. Like maybe there's a reason they didn't go in that direction in the 70s. So The White Way, you did watch it and you're not on board, didn't like it. That's basically what I'm hearing. So the ship looks weird. Let's just hope the show's good. But for the record, this will be exclusively available in the US on CBS All Access, which is their streaming portal. Yes, it is another subscription fee they want you to pay. CBS wants your money. But if you're in Canada, it's on Bell Media Space Channel. And if you're elsewhere in the world, it's on Netflix. So for once, the rest of the world wins and the US suffers when it comes to TV. Usually our Netflix is the best. Now we have to get CBS All Access if you want to watch the new Star Trek show. So anyway, Ghost Rider is coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It is the first major character to have a major story arc in this show that has often been criticized for not being Marvel enough, not having enough iconic characters. So that's happening. Yes, Robbie Reyes. So it's going to be a different Ghost Rider than Nicolas Cage ran through the mud. But maybe it's a reason to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. if you've been on the fence or if you gave up on it before. I've never been a big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. I might give this a go just for Ghost Rider. So in other Marvel news, there was a teaser for The Defenders, which is the big mashup of all the Netflix Marvel shows. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. And along with that, we saw a new teaser, or actually it's a preview of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. We get to see them in action. And they announced that Daredevil Season 3 will be happening. So this is all happening. Agents, is it in the same universe? The White Way asks. Yes. All the Marvel stuff is in the same universe, except if you're asking about the Nicolas Cage movies with Ghost Rider, those are not. I believe those were Fox movies, so they're separate, but Marvel got the rights back. So the Marvel Universe is getting bigger every day, and I'm very excited for The Defenders, which is going to be kind of like the Netflix version of the Avengers, where they have all these standalone movies and they build up to the Avengers. And now The Defenders is doing that. And wait, the Netflix series, no one talks about Daredevil. That's because in the Netflix shows, the Netflix Marvel Universe, it's part of the bigger universe, but it is like street level. So it is very localized to Hell's Kitchen, which is actually where I am right now, where we broadcast from. And they never talk about them in the big movies because they're too low level. So hopefully that changes. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. referenced Daredevil once, Scott says. I did not know that. That is good to know. I think we're going to see more of it. I really do. Whenever the next Avengers, Part 1 and 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet saga happens, maybe they'll reference them. Maybe we'll even get some cameos with them. I don't know. But I've been waiting for a long time for Daredevil to pop up in the larger Marvel Universe. And it's there. He could, but we haven't seen it yet. And also there's a big movement to have Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, a.k.a. the Kingpin, who was an awesome villain in Daredevil Season 1, appear as a villain in an upcoming Spider-Man movie. So we will see about that. And speaking of the upcoming Spider-Man movie, I didn't mention this, but they did announce that Vulture will be the villain of that. And it's probably Michael Keaton playing, yes, another Birdman. So we do not know who the villain of Daredevil Season 3 will be, to answer your question. Not yet. We just know that there will be a Daredevil Season 3, in case there were any doubts. Another show that might have snuck under the radar is Legion. So Legion is a character from X-Men comics. And Legion is the son of Professor Xavier. And he's getting a series. And it's going to be on FX. And it is not in the Marvel Universe. It is owned by Fox. Fox, who does the X-Men movies in a separate universe from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has the rights to Legion. And so the dude who made Fargo. So it looks outstanding. And you should watch the trailer to Legion. It looks weird, but it does not necessarily, even though it's the son of Professor Xavier, it doesn't necessarily tie into the X-Men movies. So wait and see. But the person who's playing Legion is Daniel Stevens, I believe his name is. And he was Matthew Crawley on Downton Abbey. So it's a bit of a departure for him. Did I get the Fargo vibes? Fargo vibes are always a good thing, and I have to say there were some Fargo vibes in this trailer for this, Legion. Check it out. If you've not watched Fargo, you should watch Fargo. It's outstanding, and it looks promising. So The Flash on CW is back on October 4th. Arlene, you're going to have to call your cable company or your satellite provider. You're going to have to get your CW back because October 4th is not far away. And Arrow's back the next day, October 5th. Wait, my Flash is Ezra Miller. There's room in this multiverse for 2 Flashes, or like 5 or 7. There's a lot of Flashes. And there's been a lot of like Grant Gustin versus Ezra Miller as Barry Allen. Listen, I'm open to both. The movie version of The Flash is going to be very different from the TV show. I like to have a little bit of variety. So Arrow's back October 5th. Legends of Tomorrow is back October 13th. And Supergirl will be joining the CW network. Not necessarily this universe that these other shows are in, but the network that week. I believe it's October 10th. So we're basically going to have on CW Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday superheroes. And if you want to double dip, you could record Gotham on Monday on Fox, and you could watch that on Friday. So DC is taking over TV, basically. What do I think about Inhumans? I really want to see an Inhumans movie because I want to see how they pull it off. And I think that the way they're sprinkling Inhumans into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of doing a disservice to them. But we'll see. There's so many characters in the Marvel Universe. The Inhumans are not a priority, but we'll see. About Netflix? Yep. And yes, The Flash, the new season of The Flash is going to get into the Flashpoint paradox. So this should be very interesting because if you know the comics, the Flashpoint paradox is when Barry screws with the time stream and everything is a little askew. So you should watch the trailer for The Flash Season 3 because you're going to see a lot of weirdness. You're going to see a lot of familiar characters in unfamiliar situations. And that's what The Flash has been doing very well with like the Earth 2 situation and previous attempts to control time. So pretty excited about The Flash Season 3. And, you know, the bigger universe. So The Walking Dead is back October 23rd. How many of you are pumped for The Walking Dead? And how many of you are still angry about that cliffhanger? Yes, and Flashpoint for 1 or 2 episodes, I see. Sorry, I missed your name. It faded away. But yeah, I think the Flashpoint's not probably going to be the full season. I am not. You're not angry about the cliffhanger. I'm still a little upset about the cliffhanger. So I expected they would show a trailer for The Walking Dead Season 7 at Comic-Con, but because there was this big cliffhanger, I didn't expect them to show much. I expected them to basically show old clips to make us really care about these characters, one of which is already dead, and we just don't know which one. But they surprised me. And the trailer for The Walking Dead Season 7 shows a lot that's not our main people, except for Carol and Morgan. They show the Kingdom, they show Ezekiel, they show his pet, and I feel like it's a spoiler. I don't really want to talk about it, but it's right there in the trailer. You're going to see it. So October 23rd, we're going to see this all come to life on AMC. And it looks outstanding. And maybe they can win us back. I'm still angry about Glenn's dumpster dive. I'm never going to forgive you. I'm never going to forget. But we can move on, and we can build new episodes. Walking Dead. Dead God Eater asks, is The Walking Dead good? I tried to see the first season, but it seems kind of boring.
You have to get past episode 3. It's slow.
Daryl is chiming in, you have to get past episode 3. I was in, like, right away. I liked the 2-part first episode. I thought it was outstanding. Listen, it is the most popular show on cable. So it's not always a great show. I will be totally honest. The Walking Dead is not always good. In fact, it's often terrible. But there's enough good in it that it's worth hanging around for, and it keeps those ratings up. So Chelsea on Facebook says the trailer had a lot of new people, and I liked it. I agree. They are introducing a lot of new characters, and they're also going to spend a lot more time with characters that were introduced last season that we barely saw, like the Hilltop Colony and Jesus. And yes, the first season was Frank Darabont of The Walking Dead from The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption and The Mist. So after the first season of The Walking Dead, it takes a different tone because there was a different person in charge. And then after that season of The Walking Dead, season 3 takes a different tone because there was yet another guy who stayed in charge since. So even if you didn't like the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead, maybe you'll like the newer ones. And I am excited for the Mist TV series. You know, we'll see. The Mist movie is one that I really enjoyed, and Frank Darabont, I think, is an outstanding director. And if you've not seen the movie The Mist, and you're a Walking Dead fan, you really should watch it because basically all the main characters from the first season of Walking Dead, with the exception of Rick, Andrew Lincoln, are in this. I think Norman Reedus isn't in it either, but there are a lot of familiar faces to anyone who's a Walking Dead fan.
But if you read the book, You're going to be disappointed.
But if you read the book, Daryl says you're going to be disappointed.
And only in the ending.
In the ending. So apparently they took liberties with the ending. So anyway, I love The Mist. I thought it was great. So, and Stephen King says he loved the ending. Thank you.
Stephen King's old and retarded.
Stephen King has questionable taste nowadays, Daryl
Yes.
says. Okay, so moving on. Fear the Walking Dead will be back very soon as well. And they released a trailer for that. And listen, if you've given it a second chance with season 2, maybe give it a third chance with season 2B. I don't know. Listen, people don't like Fear the Walking Dead. They're angry at Fear the Walking Dead because the characters are not likable. I get it. I'm with you. But the trailer looked good. So I'm going to give it another chance because, let's be honest, what else are we going to watch in August? We're waiting till October for The Walking Dead proper to come back. You're going to watch it and you know it. We're going to complain about it together, but we're all going to watch it. And yes, there are no characters, basically. Chelsea, I love it and the characters. There you go. There you go. Watch the Scream TV series. Better. I have not watched the Scream TV series. So,
Decent.
It's decent?
MTV.
Really?
Decent.
All right. I don't watch a lot of MTV. I hear good things about the Scream's TV series. American Gods is coming to Starz. And
Looking forward to
this is an adaptation.
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman. It is a well-known comic. It's a graphic novel, right?
It's a novel.
It's a novel. So American Gods is finally being adapted to television. It's going to be on Starz. Hopefully it is a reason for you to subscribe to Starz if you're not already subscribing for Ash vs. Evil Dead or Outlander or all the movies. Starz gets great movies. So American Gods looks awesome. And if you are not in the know about it, you will be in the know. When this comes out, January 2017, this will be big news because it's already bubbling up and a lot of people don't know about it. Quick question, your thoughts on Max Landis? I don't really have any thoughts on Max Landis. Ask me more specifically, and I might have some thoughts. Prison Break is coming back spring 2017. So if you're not getting enough of your Wentworth Miller and Dominic Purcell team up in Legends of Tomorrow and The Flash and that whole CW universe, they're teaming up again in a new Prison Break. Limited series. It is not coming back full time. It's not coming back for a lot of episodes. I think it's like 8 episodes or something. It's going to be short. But anyway, that's coming back.
Will they escape?
And they appear to be rehashing the titular plot of a Prison Break. Listen, the show is only good when they're breaking out of prison.
Yeah.
It really is. They tried to do other things. It wasn't good. Oh, so Max Landis, his scripts on Pokemon and Power Rangers, I have not read them. I cannot speak to that. Mystery Science Theater 3000 is coming back to Netflix. It's got a lot of the original cast. It's got some new ones. Patton Oswalt is going to be on it. So in the not too distant future, somewhere in time and space, Mystery Science Theater is coming back. That is literally when they said it would be out, the not too distant future. So those of us who remember it from Comedy Central or the short period it was on Sci-Fi Channel are probably pretty excited. And there is so much for them to talk about. And of course, Supernatural is coming back for its 45th season, I believe. Hasn't it been on since like the 1970s? 1960s maybe? So Supernatural is coming back. Not news. October 13th. The news is they cast Rick Springfield as Lucifer. That I'm excited about because Rick Springfield, Jesse's girl. So he was also outstanding in that season of Californication. So Rick Springfield will be Lucifer. The part he was born to play. And that is it. So I'd like to thank you for joining us. This was the news dump. There were just too many things to talk about. And Ego the Living Planet and I thank you for joining us. Ricky the Living Planet in the control room.
Sorry for the mess up, but new equipment, that's what happens sometimes.
It's live. It's live.
I can't even stop the feed, so I'm going to have to shut it down completely.
So we're just going to have to crash out of this. We're going to have to Control-Alt-Delete. Oh, this is a great question. So the White Way, for a Batman solo series, what storyline do I want?
Hush.
Hush? Daryl says hush. I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to go out of left field, and I'm going to say, I just want a Batman Beyond live-action movie. I mean, I like Ben Affleck. I would have liked to have seen him do The Dark Knight Returns with Zack Snyder instead of Batman v Superman, but
Said the
The Red Hood? Listen, under the Red Hood, yeah, make it happen. I'm open. There's so many great Batman stories. There's so many great Batmen. Why do so many great Batmen have terrible Batman stories? That is the question of the day, and I will leave that for you to ponder until next time. I believe we'll be back on Monday at 6 doing a regular show, myself and Joe. Not Ego the Living Planet, although he might join us. He might stick around. We cannot get rid of him. We literally cannot get rid of this guy. I did watch the Killing Joke movie. I spoke about it earlier. I agree with the mixed reviews. Didn't think it was great. And the rest of the people in the theater it was mixed. There were some people that clapped, but there was definitely a minority of people that clapped at the end. Most people were kind of scratching their heads and not saying nice things. Very disappointed because I'm not a hater. I wanted it to be outstanding. And it wasn't outstanding. It wasn't even as good as episodes of Batman the Animated Series. Sorry. Don't want to rain on your parade. It's just the truth. So, but it comes out very soon on Blu-ray and DVD. So if you didn't catch it in theaters last night or tonight, which is the special added on night, it was originally going to be one night only. Now it's 2 nights. Go watch it and you can decide for yourself if you don't believe me. But you should believe me. I already lived through it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Ricky, you can Control-Alt-Delete us out of here. And there's the monster hand, Ego the Living Planet.
Beam us out.
Beam us out. And Daryl, can you do the thing? Do you know how to do the thing? Thanks, everyone.